Hello there, and we are live. See ya, ladies and gentlemen. You welcome, to today's show, the Real Talk Premiership show with special guests. See, guys. See, man, I in this space when I first started. I used to go to different places and just watch. I never, type anything. I just go out there and just watch in different streams. See, I've been watching this guy, man, and the way he talks football. See, I'm not into where there's lots of crowd. He might not have lots of crowd down there, but see, I go for what he speaks, how he loves Arsenal at heart. This guy is the guy. Yeah, I've heard him talk about Arsenal, and I've always wanted to bring him down here. Yeah, always wanted to partner with him on lots of Gunner affairs and Gunner talk shows. But you know what? That dream has been realized right now. I have old school Gunner. It's Irish, yeah. But see, my
I'm Irish,
guys,
man. You better believe it.
I love this guy. I love this guy. Big ups to you, old school Gunner, man. It's a
I'm
honor
real,
to have
guys.
you on this
I
show.
actually exist.
Big ups to you, man. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be so dramatic in this whole thing, but that's
You're
how
very
much
dramatic. I was just going to
it
say.
means. That's how much it means to me. Having you on this show and coming down to your
Well, it's
show.
actually two of us, yeah. There's two of us.
Yeah, exactly. I come down to your
Don't
show, you
talk.
come
Two of
down
us,
to
yeah.
mine, so it's a good one. See, guys, no other person. You guys, you know him, yeah. You guys know him. He's a regular down here, but he's also my very, very good friend. We could not pick up the phone and talk to each other. He loves Arsenal at heart, and I just felt that me, him, and old school Gunner would make a very, very big collab today. So, see, no other person than from Gunners from all corners. You guys know that's our sister show to me, yeah. It's Anthony Herbert. Anthony Herbert, you're welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Tony. I got
Yeah,
to be
man.
honest with you. When you said that old school was on the show as well, I thought, well, look, I got to come on, and
You
have the
gotta
first
come
show with
on.
old school.
Yeah, exactly. Let's have a crack at it. Let's have
I
a
feel
crack at
honored.
it.
I feel honored.
Yeah, man.
Cheers,
Yeah,
mate.
man.
I
Uh,
am too. I am too.
Sure, definitely, man. You guys are both welcome to the show. In the chat, see, guys, you have to start throwing your questions in real quick, man, because we're going to be talking Arsenal, man. It's Arsenal talk, yeah. See, Gunnar Forever is in the chat. Big ups to you. Glasgow Red Chart is in the house, so others will start popping in later on when they see the notifications. See, old school Gunnar. That not London Derby. We have to delve into it just a little bit. I know we have Bournemouth, yeah. But
Well, I'm going to take the
see,
hat
man,
off for this one, guys, because this is getting serious. And
man,
for those of you that
you
were
have to,
wondering, I do have hair, yeah. There's been some
you have
vicious
to have,
rumors going
you
around.
do have some
I'm
head out
bald,
there,
but
man.
as you can see, no, I'm not. All right.
Old school
No, but
Gunner, man.
seriously,
See,
guys, the
see,
North
man.
London Derby, where do I start? Okay, you want to know my thoughts on it? All right, let
Mm,
me switch my mind back to the game now.
mm,
Where do I start? I mean, after the 35th minute, that was pretty much our performance. So after the 35th minute, we were done. You can say what you like about the players gone off, the injuries, the players that were missing. I think we missed Martinelli a hell of a lot. I mean, he's been doing very well for us on that side. He links up well, great passer with the ball. But when he wasn't playing, when Rice went off, that was another problem. Jorginho came on, made a fatal
mm.
mistake, let them in. That really was that. They could have won it in the end, but Spurs have improved dramatically. And that's not to take anything away from how bad Arsenal's performance was, in my opinion. But Spurs have improved dramatically, and maybe we underestimated them. But as soon as Rice went off, as soon as Jorginho came on, what does Smith Rowe have to do to get a game? I mean, leaving Eddie on for 100 minutes at £1,000 a minute. I saw after the game that then Arteta was saying that, well, he reckons, a good striker like Ivan Toney, the number 9, you know what I mean? It's still a good thing to have in a team, but he doesn't think Arsenal have a problem in the forwards. Now, that for me, the alarm bells ringing, because it's as plain as day that we need someone in the forwards. I love Eddie Nketiah at the bits, yeah, and he has had every single chance imaginable. But he's just he's just not. I don't want to be. He's just not good enough. I don't want to be cruel about it. The poor guy. He's done his best, but himself, Jesus isn't up to it either. Not to be the full forward. I hear that Havertz is going to start tomorrow with centre forward with Jesus playing on the left. I mean, you can't be serious. I mean, there's some Havertz, 65 million. And at the Spurs game, you saw that we got Havertz, but it was Maddison we wanted. Look how well Maddison played. His ball for the first goal. The way he just dinked it into the box and he just put it on a plate in front to finish it off. Like, a lot to talk about, yeah, but our performance last Sunday was absolutely, abysmal. I mean, that's why you'll be wondering. Like Carabao Cup, I was happy with the win. I mean, we won. That's the main thing. But we shouldn't be rushing players back for tomorrow when they're not fit. Man City are waiting around the corner 1 week from now. A little bit over a week, the 8th of October. City are waiting. We need to have the players fit for that game. Put out tomorrow, go for the win, and try to get to 3 points. But it's the City game we got to be looking towards. Seriously, we've got to lay down a marker against him. They're coming to the Emirates. Don't rush a player back if he's not fully fit. They need to be ready for the City game. We have to lay down a marker at the Emirates. We have to beat them. That's all that matters. I see things.
That's it. Exactly. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
What's around the corner? City are coming. They're going to wipe the floor with us if we're not ready for them. We need everyone available. All hands to the pump. I know they got beaten yesterday. I think against Newcastle. Yeah, whatever. That was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Man, that is inconsequential. That will have nothing to do with the game at the Emirates. They're two completely different games. I was at Highbury yesterday, and I was at the Emirates yesterday. I'm on holidays at the moment, yeah. So I'm just around London at the moment, right? When I'm not meeting friends,
exactly.
I head out to the Emirates. I head out to Highbury. Man, I tell you, the days at Highbury, I'm older than I look, guys. The days at Highbury, they were good days. But those times have moved on. We got a massive game around the corner against City.
Yeah.
We need to be up for that. And the last 2 games, not building confidence, lads. That's all I want to say.
At all. See, old school, man. I do agree with every take that you've brought to the table. But before I lay my own thoughts to the ground, I would like Anthony to just counter some of what you said, or just place some statements in there. See, Anthony, you've heard what old school gonna have said. Yeah. What do you think? I really think he's making sense in his statements, man.
Well, yeah, obviously what Old School said, and big ups to yourself, Old School. You pretty much hit the nail on the head, Tony. 35 minutes after the game, we were just pure dire. We weren't really into the game. This Tottenham side this season are unbelievable. I've always said, like, watching them how they play now, there is life after Harry Kane, and you can tell the difference. The key in that Tottenham midfield that's the key, and obviously where they link up with the attack and they're going around that box, you can see a different style of play. I'm not going to say his last name, but Ange, the manager, or Angie, I didn't want to call him Angie, but the way how he's got them playing at the minute is brilliant, and obviously it feels like, even though it was a 2-2 draw, it feels like a loss to us, but a win to Tottenham.
Exactly.
It really does. And it's like what we said. We touched on Jorginho towards the end of the game when he lost.
Yeah, that was at your show. We touched that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we discussed it on my show last night too.
Yeah.
Jorginho was the most experienced guy on the pitch in both sides. He was the most experienced player on that pitch, and for him to do that stupid mistake and to let the song go on and score. When that goal went in, you see Rea, he got up and he started clapping. Started doing that. And do you know who he did that to? He did that to our defence. Like, meaning, well done, lads. Look what's happened now. That was what it was. If you actually go back and watch the replay of the game, you see Rea clapping our defence. I'll be honest with you, that ball was attacked for the middle. Where the hell was Saliba? Where's Gabriel?
It's Gabriel.
Nowhere. Our defence
nowhere to be found.
Shocking in that game.
Yeah, shocking.
Do you know what? I was really disappointed, And if Tottenham ended up scoring another goal and went on and beating us in our own yard, then fair play to them. You know, you have to take your hats off to them, even though we don't like to do that, but you would have to. You know, we were
Yeah,
so poor. I think the man management skills of Arteta in that game, I think was poor as well.
yeah.
Eddie
I think it's
Nketiah,
questionable. It's
yeah,
questionable.
it is
Yeah,
questionable. Eddie Nketiah, I don't want him starting. Next, I've never weren't really keen on Eddie Nketiah, but you know you can't. He has been there at the start of this season, and he has provided and getting us goals. You know, at the start of this season.
yeah.
Um, Havertz, I don't want him. I'm just trying to find a waste paper basket or something. I would love to shove him in there and leave him in there. Do you know what I mean?
You need a
So
big one, man. He's pretty tall.
he's 6'4", yeah. I would just cram him in, just cram him in with my hand, with this big palm, and cram him in and say, right, you're staying in there, you're going nowhere. That's where you belong.
He's going into the
So
bin,
yeah,
man. 3-pointer.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, to the bin, to the bin.
yeah,
But
in the
again,
bin.
see, just like Gunnar Forever. See, Gunnar Forever is in the show. Head today's in the show. Poo poo poo. Lift Inspires also on the show. Big ups. We have OSD down here. Yeah, we have Anthony Herbert down here with us. See, yeah,
Who's OSD?
old school Gunnar. OSG, sorry.
Sorry,
Old
it's
school.
not your fault. I'll correct him later. What's that guy called? Oh, sorry, I got it. I'll
Uh,
correct him later.
not OSD.
I'll
OSG
correct him
Lift
later. Don't you
Inspire.
worry about that. What goes around
See,
comes
doesn't
around. You know what I mean? What goes around comes around.
exactly, man.
Just ask
Exactly,
Havertz.
man.
He's going to end up in the bin.
See,
Grab, grab.
Gunnar Forever.
65 million worth. 65 million. Come
Yeah,
on, lads.
It's shocking, but
yeah.
again, see, we'll have all night for Kai Havertz. But look at what Gunnar Forever posted here. Shout out to you, Gunnar Forever. He says here, yeah, is it true that Saka, Rice, Saliba will be available for Bournemouth? See, Anthony, remember, old school Gunnar told us, yeah, that we're at the verge of rushing these players, yeah, back into the fold, yeah, and but this will go to you, old school Gunnar, yeah. Uh, Arsenal this season. We've not had one complete perfect performance this season. Yeah. Check our home
Mm,
games.
mm.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about how we're leaking goals.
United win, even, yeah, there was times that against
Ex-
United we were struggling.
we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Yeah, we're not playing as a unit. We fizzle out of games so early. We start the game with lots of intensity and just fizzle out towards the end of the games. Of course, in the first half, we could run up and put more pressure in the first 20 minutes. In the next 20, 25 minutes, we're down chasing the game again. Even in the second half, see, it just drops, and the drop is so sharp that you feel that Arsenal might just go down the drain again. This if we once over again. We might either consider late goal, we might, all these things is happening. No perfect performance this season. And I'm sorry, there are times when you're going for the title, the marker of being a team that's serious to win that trophy. It's not just winning ugly. Yeah, you can win ugly sometimes, but there's sometimes you need to put up performances that are convincing so that the critics and rival teams see this and they get scared. Why teams literally lose before they even play Manchester City is the fear factor. They have that fear factor within them that we can't go against these guys because they will literally beat us up to a pulp. But Arsenal doesn't have that fear factor. We don't want to win games easy because that fear factor is only brought in with the way you discipline and beat teams. It's just like Newcastle beating Sheffield United 8-0. Any other team that comes to play with those guys will quake in the boots. Yeah, even before they play them, they would
Mm.
actually have a certain kind of mentality, a losing mentality. A bit, they have to be careful. But with Arsenal, none of these teams have to be careful. They just have to turn up, have a good time, play good football, and they're in. And look at that game with Tottenham Hotspurs. Same thing. Rush in the first 20 minutes, and in the next 20, 25, just fizzled out. Gave Son loads of space to operate. Kulusevski loads of space to operate. Where we had Zini, who was also admitted, I am not a good defender. But he's out here, yeah, in the leg back position defending for us, getting ripped apart by Kulusevski. His inverted nature is not giving us a lot to be desired because we're not even scoring lots of goals this season. If he was actually helping with that inverted nature and he was actually scoring lots of goals, I wouldn't have a problem. But we have a problem scoring goals, and you're not good defending. That's where I have a problem because you're out of position when all these rival, forces come up. They know that that's the route that they should go through. Zini is a big big weak link for us this season. And now Arsenal. Just listen to this drift now. Saka injured, Rice injured, Saliba here and there, Martinelli injured, Trossard injured, Thomas Partey injured. All these injuries. Do you think when these guys come back from injury, do you think we will have that perfect game? Old school good.
Um, I'm going to start at the start. Yeah, like I mean, you covered a lot of different points there.
Mm,
I think first of all, last season what happened to us,
mm,
I don't think the players have recovered from that yet. My opinion, what happened to us? I think that was a bit of a false dawn because as good as we played in patches last season, a lot
mm,
of the a lot of the actual the other teams, they weren't on it last season to a certain extent. In the end, City overhauled us pretty easily, in my opinion. I
yeah.
don't think the team have recovered from that, but that was a bit of a false dawn last season.
Mm,
Was our real league position second? Were we the second best team in the league? Look, this year is different. Yeah, we got the win over United. We beat Eindhoven. We hammered Eindhoven at the Emirates. We're back in the Champions League. Saka got his first Champions League goal. Everybody's riding on the crest of a wave, including myself. Yeah, I've
yeah.
supported the club for 30 years, guys. But
Yeah.
I was riding on the crest of a wave too. But that was a bit of a false dawn. And the Spurs game brought us back down to earth. Let us kind of know there or thereabouts where our level's at. Now, we were missing a couple of players, granted, but that's going to happen regardless. We need strength and depth. Um, yeah, man. Honestly, I mean, we were we were struggling the last time out. You said that Kulusevski was given a lot of space. Son was given a lot of space. These guys are going to do that to a lot of teams this season. They are very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and these
Even
are
James
players
Madison.
always
Even
have
James
time on the
Madison.
ball.
James
Yeah?
Madison is cooking.
Good
James
players will
Madison is
always have
cooking. I,
time on
I
the ball.
wanted him in the
Yeah?
football club.
Good players will
Mm,
always have time on the ball, and that's the way it looked. We underestimated them a little bit. They're off to one hell of a start to the season. Um, we just need to strengthen in certain areas. I mean, the signing of Havertz was a big mistake. Let's be honest about that. We threw
yeah.
65 million away. Okay, I'm trying to
Down the
deal with
drain.
the little things in the team. Yeah, we threw that 65 million away for Havertz. Okay, when we were going for Madison, we got Rice, but we didn't get Caicedo. But we can be happy that we got Rice. He is a top class player. Yeah, and I'm not saying this because he's an Englishman. I am an Irishman. Rice
Yeah.
is a top class player. Yeah? We did well to get him.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
but all that goes to waste. We don't have world class players in the team, in my opinion. We have very good players. Very few teams in the Premier League have world class players. Mo Salah is one of them. Kevin De Bruyne, another. Just to say, Madison, in my opinion. But we have to be grounded at the moment. We need to get certain things done. I touched on Havertz. You said about Zinchenko. Why did we let Tierney go out on loan? Tomiyasu was
That,
playing centre back the
that's
other
a big
day.
question.
That's another thing. I mean, I was happy with the win against Brentford, but let's have it right. If it wasn't for Ramsdale, if Ivan Toney had been playing, they would have turned us over because he would not have just missed those chances like that. He is lethal. Arteta coming out and saying we don't need a player, we don't need a striker. The squad hasn't been strengthened. Injuries are always going to happen. Look, now we have the Champions League to contend with. It's a different level, a much different level. It's not the same season it was last season. The other teams have strengthened. Liverpool,
Yeah.
if they played us tomorrow, they'd beat us.
Oh my God. No,
With the
they'll beat us.
guarantee, man, they would.
They'll smash it.
If
Yeah.
United have
Yeah.
another crack off us, they might turn us over once Harry Maguire's not playing. But you know what I mean? It's like that,
Yeah.
guys.
Exactly, man.
We need to fight even
No.
for top four now. We have the Champions League, we have the league, we have the Carabao Cup, we have the FA Cup.
Mm.
We have a big
That's a
challenge
big one.
tomorrow, and we have to look to all the rest of the season. Injuries are going to happen. The squad isn't strong enough. Look, I know Manchester
Mm.
City are the best team in the world right now. I know they came off the back of the treble last season, but they have two teams. They have two teams of 11. You're telling me there's nobody in the reserves, there's nobody in the youth team that can come in, step up, and score some goals. There's no one there. Not one player. There
No
has
one
to be.
player.
There has to be. There
Mm.
has to be.
There has to be. But Anthony, chime in on that one, yeah. What's up with our youth setup, yeah? Because Arsenal used to be glorified, yeah, with our youth setup. Our youth setup. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's either we're not giving these guys chances. Come on, man. Even look at Ennis Smith Rowe. Yeah, typical example. LN kid, right? LN. He's an LN kid. This guy got his first start in 499 games.
Yeah. And you know what, Tim? It's
Can,
shocking.
can you believe? Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it because I got one with you. Apart from that, all right, we all know what Saka's like, and he's come up from the youth. But I'll tell you something. Like let's move Saka aside. We know what he's like. Smith Rowe, when he first come into the squad, and he started playing 13 football, regular football. What last season? It was the season before. He scored 10 league goals last season. Do you know how
Yeah,
many goals he assisted that season? He assisted 8. He had 8 assists and 10 goals. Right. This is the problem. I don't know if there's a complication between him and Arteta. I really don't know. But I'll tell you something now. Smith
yeah,
Rowe is for a player of his age. What a player! He reminds me. I'm not calling him a Dennis Bergkamp, but he reminds you a little bit of Dennis Bergkamp. He's got
yeah.
a good footballing brain. So with that, he knows how to make his move and his next move straight after that. That
Straight
was
after
what,
that.
yeah, that was what Smith Rowe done. Now he got
Yeah.
injured, didn't he? And after this injury, he never come back. Arteta and him, I don't know whether they were loggerheads and they didn't get on or anything like that.
Not a sniff.
But
Not a sniff in the team.
yeah,
Why?
not a Smith. And I'll tell you something now. If Smith Rowe is obviously because he's fit, he can play this game. And this is the reason why we said about Martinelli. Now, have you noticed Martinelli? To me, he's been poor this season. Martinelli, I will say it. He has been poor. You know the
Yeah.
reason why he's been poor? Because he got Havertz playing behind him. He's got a player that is total rubbish and should be in the bin. Now, if Martinelli wasn't injured and Smith Rowe was playing behind him,
Was playing behind him.
Or
there
Tierney.
you go.
Tierney
Of
and
course.
Martinelli
Tierney,
linked very
yeah,
well, man.
Tierney,
Tierney and
yeah.
Martinelli were very good.
You see a
The left
different
side.
Arsenal. You see a different
You see a
Arsenal.
different Arsenal. And mind
And
you, even the manager, Anthony, let me add to that, yeah. Even the manager came out in the pre Brentford game and he said they asked him, where do you think is Emil Smith Rowe's best position? And even he knows this. He said he's better in those little pocket spaces. And that's the answer. It
yeah,
is in those little pocket spaces where you have to put this guy. It would literally exploit those pocket spaces, open up defenses, and then people like Gabriel Martinelli can be able to just pounce on one or two of those chances.
I
It's
don't mean
easy,
to. Sorry, no
breezy
no
football.
for bumping in, yeah, but
Yeah,
sorry, no
man.
man for knocking you out of your rhythm there. But I just want to say one thing that came to mind. Regardless of tactics, guys, regardless of team selection, regardless of this, regardless of that, tomorrow we need to go out and take the 3 points.
yeah.
People can talk
That's a
about
must.
tactics till I don't, you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. Arteta's
Well,
press conference, respect to the team, respect to Arteta, but they need to go out tomorrow and win the goddamn game. Man City is around the corner. We can't
yeah.
We
rely
can't
on that
afford. We
game.
can't afford to lose
The
that game.
fact is, guys, we're going to lose the City. Let's be honest about it. They're going to beat us, right? My opinion.
Yeah.
We need to go out tomorrow and we need to take the 3 points. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter home or away, because the City game, for me, I don't think we have a chance against them.
But again,
we need
see,
to win tomorrow. First things first, and then
we
let's look
challenged
to
these
Sunday.
guys last
Then
season.
let's look to the City game.
We challenged these guys last
We
season.
need to win tomorrow.
They have Rodri out. They have Rodri
Regardless
out.
of tactics, regardless of this, regardless of that, City
But
are
again,
just an exceptional team, and we need to win
But
tomorrow.
see,
We need to get the 3 points tomorrow. We can't be counting on the City game. That is, man, seriously. I mean,
But see, OSG, see, why can't we be counting on beating Manchester City?
because
For
they're too
crying
good for
out
us.
loud. I get that, but they have Rodri out. They have Rodri out. And in the first game, since they had Rodri out,
They have two. Well, like
Newcastle game, they've
the
lost.
thing is,
They've
man,
lost.
right? The thing is,
It's not far from
respectfully, where we're
reality.
strong,
We can beat Man
where
City.
we're
We have to
strong,
do it.
they are stronger. Like
But
when we
again,
have Saka, they have
but do we
Ake.
have the mentality to do that? That's the
We
thing.
beat them in
Because
the Community
Newcastle
Shield,
have
I
showed us that they
remember.
have the
We beat
mentality.
them in the Community Shield, but I don't think that we're going to have a chance against them at the Emirates.
I don't. Now, it's like what I said.
They're too
If
good
we
for
go
us.
on and beat Bournemouth, right,
Mm,
and Tottenham draw with Liverpool, right, we go fourth, right, and
Yeah,
we'll be on the same points as Liverpool, but Liverpool will be above us on goal
yeah, above
difference,
us.
mm,
right? That is what we're looking for. We need this game now. This
mm.
Bournemouth game. People go, "Oh yeah, but it's Bournemouth." But this game is key to lead on to our next game, which is
Yeah.
Man City coming up. This is what we need to do.
Mm.
Arteta needs to think and get set up the players, the formation, and the strategy of what he expects from his players.
Mm,
Go out there and give 100% or 110%. Because I'll tell you something now. This season in the league, the best game we've had by far is the Man United game,
mm.
right? We're like a car. We're like a car. We're running low, and we're running on fumes. We're not running on petrol. We're chugging along on fumes, and that's it. That's what we're doing in the minute. And Arteta needs to put the fucking gas in put the petrol into the players and say, put them onto a full tank and say, this is what I expect from you at Bournemouth, and we need to go on and do this against Man City as well. That's it. We can't say any fairer than that. All schools right about the injuries we got. We have got a lot of injuries, but let's be honest. The players that plays for Arsenal Football Club should play for the club and honour the badge. One player don't make a team because Roger is out. One player don't make a team at all. It's 11 players to a team. We have got to be first. We've got to command the game from the start to the finish. All we're asking our players to do is to play a decent game of football and win in 90 minutes.
But again,
That is all we've got to do.
how can we win the big trophies? Yeah, when teams like Manchester City come to our home ground and we just allow them to just run circles around us. Yeah, I think we should be putting up a fight against these guys. Yeah, if we're serious of winning the trophy, we have to put up a big fight against these
Yeah.
guys. And Newcastle showed us they showed us the blueprint of how to beat these guys. So it's not far from reality when we think or when we say, hey, these guys can't be beaten. And trust me, since last season, Manchester City haven't even hit third gear yet. They're still in gear one. It was so easy for them last season to win the trophy. They knew they could, miss out on certain games and still win the trophy. We made it so easy for these guys. But again, should we be rushing, old school Gunnar, should we be rushing in? Because with the news that's on board now, Thomas Partey might be ready for that crunch game against Manchester City. It's also been said that this guy will be coming back. Martinelli might be back for that game also. We might be getting our full team apart from Jurien Timber. Do you think it's right for us to kind of rush these players in right now? Or should we just...
If they're not fit for the City game, I wouldn't play them because they're not going to be fully fit. And against City, there's going to be you won't get away with that. Yeah, they're a very good team. We won't get away with a half-fit player on the field. Also, if they're coming back, are they going to be in form? I mean, they haven't played in a while. It's going to take a while to pick it up. It's a really tough game, yeah. And the problem is, any little mistake, any little weakness like that, City are going to capitalize on it. Another thing that we should have touched on is that Pep Guardiola is a better coach than Arteta. Now, let's have it right. He's a better coach. We gave them a game last season in the first half. I think one of the games we played them, we gave them a game in the first half. I think it was the cup game when Ake scored and they beat us 1-0 in the FA Cup. And we gave him a game in the first half. But whatever he did, whatever tweak he made at halftime, the second half was completely different. And City were also aggressive. They were fired up. De Bruyne was bumping into Arteta, I think. He was flying into challenges. It got a bit physical. Ake had Saka pretty much under wraps. They were cancelling each other out. He managed to pop up and get the goal at the end. whatever was said at halftime by Pep Guardiola to the team, that swung the game because they came out in the second half and it was like a different game. He spotted
Mm,
something, he noticed something, and they capitalized on it. They have a better manager. It's not just about the team, but we need to give everything against them when we play them at the Emirates. Sorry if I
yeah,
seemed a bit negative there earlier, but you have to say there's like a thing of inevitability when we play City.
yeah, sure.
Apart from the Community Shield, they have the Indian sign over us. And what they did to us
Yeah,
last season is fresh in the memory.
it's
We beat
fresh.
them in the Community Shield. We beat them on penalties. Newcastle beat them recently in the Carabao Cup. They rolled their luck a little bit, Newcastle, but they took their chance well. You know what I mean?
Mm,
They rolled their luck at
mm,
certain stages of the game when City looked like they were going to break through. But Newcastle are resilient and they can be got at. But for me, the game that we play them at the Emirates is going to be completely different when we face City. I mean, it's going to be Premier League, 6-pointer, us against them. And I think at times Arteta's man management just lets him down and we tend to fade
mm,
in games. And they are the kind of
mm,
team that they'll exploit the weakness. Look, they have think of the players they have. Just name some of the players they have. Last year, the master stroke, the way he implemented Stones, the way he put him into the team. I never knew
yeah,
Stones could play like that. I was shocked watching Stones play. I didn't realize he was so
exactly.
skillful.
Yeah.
He was so skillful. It's unreal. I was like,
It's unreal.
it's like a new player. It's like they had a new player,
Mm,
and he gave them that
mm,
injection. Of course, Rodri, you mentioned, might miss the game. He's injured. A fantastic player for them, but they have so many good players. They have so many good players. It's terrifying.
yeah. It's terrifying. But again, see, yeah, well, one person, if we have to win that game against City, yeah, it's this guy, Martin Odegaard. Anthony,
Mm,
I'll bring you
mm.
in on this one. And of course, OSG can counter later on this one too. See, Arsenal Football Club just gave Martin Odegaard club captain, right? Just gave him a new contract just before the North London derby. Good and okay. He was to put up a performance, yeah, new 5 year deal. The club has shown lots of faith in you, giving you a new deal at the start of the season. They've seen your performances. Even if you're not that guy that throws in a shout here and there, we have Declan Rice who could be on that act, has that attitude, the mold of a captain. But yeah, this football club has shown faith in you, giving you that captain's armband, giving you a new 5 year contract, which is big. Other players are getting 4 year contract, but you got 5 year contract. Good and okay. I'm not all about that contract, but again, yeah, in the big games, when you need Odegaard, when you need your big time player, your captain to be on the act, to actually galvanize the team, to actually be that leader for you guys, to actually be in on that game, create spaces, open up defenses, tear them up, and create chances for our strikers to score goals. Odegaard was missing yet again in the big matches. And you know what, Anthony? It's not just that we're just talking for talk's sake. You know this. Odegaard has this habit of missing out in the big games. Maybe in the PSVs, maybe in the Nottingham Forest, maybe a little bit if you need him against teams like maybe Luton or those type of teams. Things might come good. But what about the big games when Man City comes to town? What happened? Of course, definitely, maybe tomorrow against Bournemouth, he could create opportunities. That's when you see him turn up. Yeah. But
Yeah.
what about those critical games against Liverpool? What about those critical games against Manchester City when City come knocking on our midfield? Will this guy answer? His performance in the North London derby and what you think about Odegaard going forward, and also put into perspective the new contract that was just given to this brother.
I can understand the new contract anyway was given to him because when Odegaard first started playing for Arsenal, I
Mm,
never really rated him when he was on loan. He was always drifted. He was always. It was like he was drifting away from the game. You know,
mm,
if the ball was over and the style of play was over, he would drift off. But over
mm.
the seasons, he got better. Hence, obviously, being our top goal scorer last season.
Yeah.
But to me, Odegaard's not a captain. He's not captain material.
Mm.
A player like that needs to be captained. Like you go on about being a captain, old school era tell you Tony Adams, that's a
Oh,
captain. That is a captain,
Oof.
not Odegaard, right? So this is the problem what Arsenal got. I mean, it was just going back a while ago with Cesc Fabregas being a captain. He wasn't captain material. He was too young to be a
Mm,
captain, you know. And this is like what I say: these young players now, it seems to they seem to have it on a plate, you know, offer it to them on a plate. And I feel that they've. I'm pretty much. I would use his name like old school's name. I'm pretty much old school myself. You know, I feel that
yeah,
you've got to work up to that captaincy. To me, Odegaard's a good player, but he hasn't worked up to that
Mm,
captaincy. The
mm,
best
mm,
player that was captain for our team, he's gone out on loan. Kieran Tierney.
yeah.
That to me that's the that was our captain. He was the only player that could captain that team because you look at in the start of his play, you know,
mm,
he was hungry. And these are
yeah,
players that needs to be captain. It's like what you've touched on with Odegaard. He has been out of games. He has been out of position. He has lacked in pace and skill.
yeah,
He's come back and he's sort of drifted that way when the ball's over this way. You know, he
yeah,
has done that too. And I totally agree with you 100%. But
yeah.
but this game now against Bournemouth, we need him to rise up to the plate for him to take us into that next game at Man City. He needs to do that.
He will rise up. He will rise up because it's
Yeah,
Bournemouth. He will
yeah,
do that. But I'm talking about those Manchester City games, those Newcastle games, when they start coming
yeah,
hard and thick, when we have to go to Liverpool, yeah,
yeah.
and play these guys. Will
But
he be that guy that would stand up and grab the game by the scruff of its neck and put us in with a shout to win the game? That's the problem.
that's the problem, and you don't know. It's like at the minute he's playing hot and cold. You don't know where
Mm,
you know. We don't know where we stand with Odegaard.
Mm.
But
mm.
the problem is, you look at that. Even when we play Newcastle, I'm worried playing Newcastle as well. Newcastle's a threat this year. Who would have thought they would have beat Sheffield United 8-0?
Hey,
I
now,
had them down for a
do it so
3-1
convincing.
win, I think.
Mm,
Exactly. But
If we
who's their
played them
captain?
tomorrow, they're going to beat us.
Exactly. Exactly. And who their right back? They scored 8 goals. Kieran Trippier.
oh my
He assisted 4 out of those 8. 4 goals out of those
He's a
8.
brilliant player, man. A brilliant player.
He's a brilliant
Exactly.
player. He's a
And
brilliant
this
player.
is a player, that's another player that's captain material. But we
Mm,
haven't got that at Arsenal Football
we
Club.
haven't got
We
that
haven't
right.
got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'd
But do
agree
you
with that.
think Declan Rice,
It's a
OSG,
very
do
good
you think
point. A very
Declan
good point.
Rice, do you think Declan Rice is in that mode of
I think he
captain
can be.
material?
I think
Okay.
he can be. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he can be because Declan Rice is one of those players that knows he's the sort of player that sit back and he'll watch everybody around the pitch, his own team members.
Mm,
And I can remember when he scored against Man United, when he scored that winning goal against Man United, and then he was saying, you know, he was clapping the team, and he was
Mm.
pointing, and he was like this, and he said, "No, you get there. I've got him. You get him." And then you go up. You know, he was doing
Organizing, yeah.
a lot of arm movements.
yeah, doing the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, and
I do get that, man.
yeah, and he was brilliant, you know,
Mm,
and he
mm,
was the one that helped Arsenal from the DM position back into the
Mm.
defence. Because if
yeah,
it wasn't for him playing and messaging players to tell do this, do that, we
yeah.
could have lost that game quite easy to Man United. So yeah, so Declan Rice, I feel, is a future captain,
There's
and I
potential,
think he'd be a
definitely. Yeah.
good captain. Yeah,
Yeah, please add to that OSG because a big question. The assembled have just laid a marker for you, so of course there's a big question coming down there for from what he just wrote down there. That's why I liked it that statement. OSG, what would you add to that statement from Anthony?
I agree with everything he said. I'll be honest with you. I
Mm,
haven't done any collaborations with Anthony. We have talked a little bit at time about me coming on his channel, which I
yeah,
will do at some point. I would like to, but
yeah,
it's
sure,
nice to hear. It's nice to hear another Arsenal fan's point of view. Um, the man speaking from experience. I mean, he obviously is like me.
sure.
He can look back a long
He's a
time
true gunner. He's a true gunner.
down through the teams, but down through the years, different teams we had, like Tony Adams, for example. That was a long time ago, guys. That was not yesterday. But I remember Adams, of course, Keown, a warrior. But the one
Mhm.
thing I agree with everything you said, yeah. The one thing I would say about this Arsenal team too, it's not the be all and end all, but there's a certain 10-minute period in every game. it gets physical. Like against Liverpool, for example, they are quite a physical team. We're going to be blown away. We have a lot of players in there that look. I don't want to be mean. Yeah, it's unfair to compare these guys to. It's unfair. It's
Old
unfair to
school,
compare
good
them
nice cook.
to Petty. It's unfair to compare them to
Mm,
Vieira or Petty.
mm.
Ray Parler was a saucy boy when he needed to be. The one guy we had on the team, he's long gone now off to Marseille. He had a big bust up with Mikel Arteta. Was Guendouzi. He could be a saucy boy on the field. We've got no one that can kind of mix it up when the going gets tough. That's my one concern. I mean, Fabio Vieira, I'm stronger than him. Martin Odegaard, I'm stronger than him too. You know, they've got,
I
I'm just
have it.
saying, yeah, and I'm not the
You
strongest
punch
man in
him
the
up.
world. We have got no fatigue. We have got no Vieira. We have got no one in there that's a little bit nasty when they don't have the ball. And that's what we're
Exactly.
lacking as well. It's all well and good being nice and pretty and playing this Arteta ball when we have it, but when you don't have it, you have to be a little bit nasty. And we don't have
Mm.
that side to our game. We are a little bit
We don't,
rootless last
we don't
season.
have any master
They lie.
player. We don't,
Last season we
see,
were a little bit rootless in certain
OSG,
games. We
OSG,
don't
will
have
you,
that physicality, guys. We do not have big men in the team. Really,
OSG,
really
OSG,
regret that.
OSG, will
And
you
we need that.
agree? OSG, will you agree that we're missing Granit Xhaka in the middle of the park? Because
He's
I am,
crap. Crap.
I don't like Granit Xhaka, yeah.
I don't
But
think
see,
we're missing him at all, man.
but again,
He
we
is
miss his grit
rubbish.
for last season.
Right? I'm
Last
gonna go
season
out
he was
now.
giving us
He had
goals. He was
one
giving
good
us goals. It
season,
was a
yeah.
little bit of a grit.
He had
Yeah, I'm just
one
talking of
good
that one
season
season.
in
I'm talking
7.
of that one season
Crap
because right
player.
now, but
Crap.
again, I know it's crap. But
Rice
again,
is head and
again,
shoulders above him in every department.
see. We have Kai
One good
Havertz.
season.
I know, but again, Granit Xhaka on an Arsenal shirt is better than a Kai Havertz. That's
Oh,
where I'm
definitely.
Yeah,
getting to.
but my
That's
mom
what
is
I'm
better than
getting
Kai
to.
Havertz. The
That's what
thing
I'm
is, though, like
saying.
I used to live
It's a total
in
minus
Switzerland.
one.
I used to live
Yeah,
in Switzerland for 10 years, and of course, Shaka is the Swiss captain. Huh?
yeah.
Over there, they think that he is Pele. They think he's Mbappe. He's far from that. I'll give you what you're saying. Maybe we're missing a little bit of something he did, but there's no guarantee that he was going to play for us like he did last season. I mean, he's like a one-hit wonder. You know what I mean? He'd one good season in
I,
7.
I
We're
get
better
that,
off without him.
but again,
But the thing
is
is,
that guy that has a
yeah,
little bit of physicality in him. Right now, I don't see us having this
yeah, but he
physical
wasn't. But he
muscle in the
wasn't.
middle of the park.
But he couldn't mix it
There's
up
no
either. He
physicality.
couldn't mix it up. He couldn't mix it up. It was like he might have been like he could pick up a red card. I mean, he could pick up a
I
red
know,
card,
I
right?
know, I know, but we're in a
And he
worse
could tell the
state. We
fans
have
to
Kai
go
Havertz.
do one.
We have Kai
But
Havertz who's like -2
he didn't
in
have a
the
bad
team.
season for us last season, Shaka. But I think we're all right without him. But we definitely need a little bit more in the team. And the answer is not Granit Xhaka. You know what I mean?
Of course, it's not. But, and
A
the
bit more
answer
power,
isn't
a
Kai
bit more
Havertz.
power in the team at times, I think is good. But the big problem for us, I just want to touch on this. What do you think about the whole David Raya situation taking over from Ramsdale? I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. Like Raya joined the squad. Fair enough. We got him for, I think, was it like 30 million, 35, 30 million, I think.
He's on loan. He's on loan. That fee
Yeah.
hasn't been
I
paid.
thought he was
It's on
coming in
loan.
as backup to Ramsdale. Next minute, he looks to be our number one. What do you make of the whole situation? I mean, it happened so quickly. Yeah?
Anthony, that's a tasty one.
What do
Can
you
you
think
take
about that
that one
situation?
first?
The Raya,
He-
Ramsdale.
Yeah, is a tasty one. In all fairness, I to a certain extent, I feel you've got to feel sorry for Ramsdale because
Mm.
he was pulling off vital saves last season. You know, he was the key as well last season to why we finished second. Okay, yeah, we bottled the league, and we did. But Ramsdale is one of those. You've seen it. If you've ever seen it on that program, All or Nothing, if he lets a goal in a game, how pissed is he after when he walks back into that changing rooms and he's throwing the gloves down, he's kicking stuff around the bloody changing rooms because
Mm.
he let it go. But
Mm.
I mean, obviously, because we got a bit of a leaky defence at the minute. But I mean, the last couple of games that he's played in all fairness, he hasn't been that great. But every player has a blip in their career. We've got to understand that. And he's had a couple of games where he's been a blip. And Reina, but basically, I feel like with Ramsdale, he's a sort of player it needs to be challenged. He wasn't
Mm.
getting challenged by Matty Turner. He wasn't getting
Exactly.
challenged by him at all.
He got
So with
comfortable there.
bringing
He
in
got
Ray,
comfortable.
yeah, he got comfortable. So
Mm.
with Raya coming in, he's sort of like he's looking over his shoulder. He's thinking, "Bloody hell, hang on." Raya was the fifth best goalkeeper in the Premier League last season. Did you know that? The fifth
Yeah.
best goalkeeper. So
Yeah.
he's now got to look over his shoulder. But I mean, I think Ramsdale, when Raya made that save in the Tottenham game, who was the player that stood up? He started clapping his hands.
Ramsdale.
Exactly. But because he honours
He's a
him
good
and he
attitude.
yeah, because he reckons he's a good goalkeeper as well.
Mm.
But Ramsdale likes the competition.
Mm.
He loves it. He strives off it. He reminds me of that player. You could tell by
Mm.
the look of him,
Yeah.
the way he
Yeah.
plays
Yeah.
and this and that. He really loves that.
Although Jimmy Carragher thinks it's lots of theatrics
Oh well,
with the whole
How
clapping
would he
thing,
know?
and Jimmy Carragher came out and said, "Hey man,
How would he
this
know?
guy's just pretending. It's an actor."
no,
What?
no,
Average
no.
players of a good
I
team
don't
back in the
listen
day,
to
boy.
Carragher. I didn't listen to him. I don't listen to Jamie Carragher. I didn't even listen to Gary Neville, the best person on there to listen to. And I am going to say this: you can clip this and quote me for it. The best player on that punditry, yeah, the
Mm,
ex-player is Roy Keane. That's the player that's the guy
Joaquin,
that
From the
knows
Irish,
city.
him.
love it,
We were from the
Yeah,
same
love that
city, yeah.
brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
Oh,
one.
okay. From this, sorry, from Cork City.
Cork City, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, all
My
right.
cousins
Yeah,
come from the
okay.
same place that Keane is from, Mayfield.
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. All right. Great.
Working
See, yeah,
class.
see, yeah, OSG, yeah. Let's get into that question that was meant, that I wanted to ask you, yeah. Look at the statement from here to there. Sorry, the assembled. It says here to there. We have a system that wins games, but if you study Arsenal's system, it's easy to stop Mark Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, and that stops everything. Remember, no plan B. See, and that takes us to Mikel Arteta's technical
Yeah,
know-how,
we
his
might. I
experience in
agree
this
with.
league.
Yeah, I
See,
agree with parts
no
of that.
plan B, no plan B.
I
See,
agree
I'm
with
coming
parts of that,
OSG,
yeah.
yeah. I'm coming OSG. Bukayo Saka, yeah. You can see now that Bukayo Saka isn't getting those penetrative, incisive chances he usually normally have. They are now doubling up on him. These guys have found us out. They found out that Martinelli is that guy that will literally cut in. He will give you that shoulder, yeah, but he literally cuts in, of course. And they're always, ramping up their defense over our players, sending up to 2 to 3 players to outmark these guys. Saka can't get a decent penetrative movement into the 18-yard box these days. He has to grind out those movements. He has to grind out those shots from outside the 18-yard box. He can't move in. It's not that easy. And this manager, he hasn't flipped the script right now. When plan A isn't working, what is your plan B? I knew he brought in Kai Havertz for a so-called plan B, but we're not seeing that plan B come to fruition. What do you think about this statement? And do you think we should be having any plan B? If you think we should have a plan B, what's that plan B, and what should Mikel Arteta be doing to have that plan B right now with the
I
team we've
think.
got right now?
I think that I agree with some parts of what the assembled said. Yeah, if you could put
Mhm.
that comment back up again, yeah, would be good.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
just read the
yeah.
assembled comment there. Thanks, man. I agree with some parts of what he said. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination it's easy to stop Saka. If you want to put two on him, maybe so, but I think that maybe the other teams are improving. But there's only one way to get past them, and that's they have to be good enough. The players just have to be good enough. I mean, there is no secret. I think Saka is going to be good for us all season long if we don't overdo it. If he's not played too much, we ran him into the ground at the end of last season when the team completely
Mm,
capitulated. He was dead on his feet out there. He was overplayed. That's one thing you could level at Arteta, definitely. We overplayed
mm.
Saka, we overplayed Martinelli, and they ran out of
Yeah,
gas at the end as well. It wasn't just City coming on strong. We had some very bad results at home. Southampton,
yeah.
Brighton turned us over 3-0. We just ran out of steam, but definitely, I understand what the Assemble is saying to a degree. You can kind of counteract what we do, but you can say that about a lot of teams. That you can kind of bottle them up a little bit. Um,
Mm,
I think the players are good enough. I mean, it's not easy to stop Saka. It's not easy to stop Martinelli, in my opinion. It's one thing knowing
mm,
that the way they're going to play. It's another thing actually bottling them up and stopping them on the field. Of course, if we play
mm.
Manchester City or Liverpool, it's going to be very difficult for them. That's why we need to bring in a top striker because we're only going to get a couple of chances. Havertz, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
man. See,
Eddie
yeah,
Nketiah, he's not going to do it for us.
yeah, yeah. Actually, that's our next topic.
No plan B. I think that's fair
No
to
plan
say.
B. Mm,
Yeah, I think Arteta is also very slow to make changes. I don't want to be coming on Arteta the whole time. He should be given another chance this season, see what he can do. But at some point, we need to win something of note. But look, it's difficult. There's only one league to win. There's only one FA Cup. There's only one Champions League. It's not so easy at the moment because City are around. Like I remember last season when City won the Champions League, I was
mm,
absolutely delighted. You're probably wondering why. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people have gone about Arsenal had bottled it. There's a bit of truth in that, yeah. Fair enough.
yeah,
It's clear to see,
yeah,
yeah. It was the biggest
mm,
turnaround in Premier League history. We were 10 ahead, we lost by 10, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean? We were hearing that
yeah,
the whole time. There's a bit of truth in
yeah,
that, yeah. They did bottle it. They ran out of steam. City overhauled us, and everything that went before it meant counted for nothing. But when City went
yeah,
out and they beat United to win the cup, the FA Cup, then when they won the Champions League, then teams actually, and a lot of fans looked up, took note, and actually realized what Arsenal had been up against. This was not
yeah,
your run of the mill team, guys. This was not your. They didn't just scrape over the line. This is a team that did the treble. This is a team that a lot of people consider to be better than the United team that did the treble back in the day. Roy Keane's team, who we touched upon. That's what I liked when they did the treble because it gave a little bit of credit to Arsenal. And I think we deserved it because our season was not so bad last season. They had a go,
yeah.
but this season's a different season. It's a completely different
It's a
ball
different.
game.
It's a completely different one. And
It's
again, we're
completely
4 points.
different ball game.
We're four
And we
points
have to keep
out.
moving
We're
forward.
four,
We can't be resting on our laurels. The Raya Ramsdale thing, I'm almost finished now, man, and you can jump in. The Raya Ramsdale
yes.
thing, I get it. You know what I mean? I think it's a good thing that there is competition. I agree with everything that my man Anthony said, man. He hit the nail on the head. Ramsdale became too complacent. He got too comfortable.
Mm,
I just wanted to know what you thought about that. It's interesting to hear your views on it. Ramsdale, for me, I'm just going to finish on this point. When he came into the team, when he replaced Bernd Leno, it was like night and day. His communication with the back four, cajoling them, encouraging them. They were chests, man. They were bumping chests. You know what I mean? When one of them made a good
yeah.
clearance or a good save, he was coming up to Tommy Astu and they were going into each other like that. There was a real sense of where it was Leno. You know what I mean? Ramsdale is such an upgrade on Leno. Now, Raya is
Yeah.
again a little bit maybe better than Aaron. Who knows? But for me, man, big fan of Aaron Ramsdale. Had a great season for us last season. He makes his mistakes. Sometimes under the crosses, he's not so good. I get it. Raya's
Mm,
maybe takes the ball a little bit cleaner when it comes in. He's maybe that's
Yeah,
his strong point. Distribution maybe a little bit better. He's less accident prone, maybe. But
mm,
it's like Anthony said, man. When Ramsdale is actually like motivated on it fully, like he gets the energy going, the blood is
mhm,
boiling. There's no one better. He rises to the occasion. And the way he baits the
yeah.
fans, he gives it. He can give it and
You,
take it.
you can
He's a good
sense
guy
the
to have in the
passion,
team,
can't
man.
you?
Yeah, you can sense the passion. He
see,
loves the club and he can give it and take
see,
it. And big up to Oregon Guna in the chats, man. Big up to the guy
Oregon Gunners in the house. Boom, boom, boom. Oregon Gunner. Big up. That's my guy. Tayyip Hussein. Big up to you, Tayyip. Yeah.
just remember
See,
tomorrow, lads. We need to take the 3 points. You know what I mean? We need to take
definitely.
the three
See, yeah.
points.
See,
Nothing else matters. There'll be no
I'll touch on
excuses.
this.
No excuses for going out there
No
and
excuses. Yeah,
absolutely
definitely.
tear it into them. Tear into them. Rip into them.
Yeah. See, yeah. You see this,
Bournemouth,
Ray? Yeah.
guys,
You
all
see
due
this,
respect. It's Bournemouth. Let's just go out there and tear into them. We need to take the
and
3
turn to
points
them.
before the City game.
We
We need to
definitely
take the
should.
3 points before we play City.
But
Must
again,
win.
you see this David Raya and this Ramsdale stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, Ramsdale cost us valuable points last season. He did well last season, but he did also cost us a valuable points last season. The game
Mm.
against Southampton, the game against Liverpool, that Usta we had down there against Sporting Lisbon, up to 3 games. See, we lost the title with 5 points. Aaron Ramsdale at least lost us 2 games last season. At least those 6 points.
Zinchenko
I'm
as
not.
well against Liverpool,
I'm
right?
not. I'm not
Zinchenko
saying.
was.
Uh,
Zinchenko was
exactly,
brutal against
suspect.
Liverpool.
Yeah, suspect. I'm not saying he's not a good goalkeeper. I'm saying he needs competition, and competition is here. Since it's that guy, I agree with you. It's that guy that thrives in moments like this. This is the moment I want to see him thrive. And as you can see, Mikel Arteta will also give him chances. He also knows that this guy has put in work in this team. He will give him those chances.
Good
But
comment.
when you saw that game against Brentford, was Ramsdale, was he perfect? There was a goal that hit the bar, it nearly got in. Yeah, see, I'm not. Sometimes he could be so complacent. Sometimes, and this is my problem with him. Where are those fist pumps these days? I don't see that. I don't
But
see
he made a great
coordination.
save. He made a great save
But
against Brentford.
but but again, that's just one save. There were lots of see those
Oh,
guys
it was
had lots of
coming in like a
chances.
rocket, man, and he got his
That-
fingertips to it.
Exactly, but there were many chances that those guys would have
Yeah.
had. If they had Ivan Tony, would have been toast yesterday. Let's don't get that
Yeah,
twisted.
but they
Would
would have
have
beaten
been
David Raya
toasted
too.
yesterday.
Tony would beat
That,
Raya as well.
well, we don't know about that. We have to
Ah,
see
come
Raya.
on.
Yeah,
Come on, no, it's Ivan Tony.
we have to see Raya. But no, no, no.
He's a gambler. He'll take a gamble on it.
Yeah.
no. I'm just
Come
saying.
on,
I'm
it's
just
Ivan
saying that.
Tony, man. He's
Just like
handing
just
it
like
in front of the
Tony.
goal. You could have
But
two
again, just like
goalkeepers. You could have
Anthony
two of
said,
them, and he'd still
just like
score.
Anthony said, David Raya is a respected goalkeeper in this league. He's the fifth best goalkeeper in this league for a reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
he offers you that composure, in that back
He could have
line. He
taken the
offers you
ball
that
from the area.
stability in
He's
that back line. He's a good goalkeeper, and that's why he has decent numbers, decent saves, more better
He's
crossfield
Spanish.
passes.
I'll tell you, you
It's
know what I
accurate
mean? They're
in
both
Spanish.
Spanish.
Okay,
He
good
speaks to
and
the
okay. But
Espanol in the
again,
changing room, you know what I mean?
but again,
Talking about the other players, talking about how crap Havertz is.
he's a more better and all round goalkeeper than
Switch to
Ramsdale.
Spanish, and you could talk about Havertz, how crap he is, you know what I mean?
But anyway, again, time will tell. But again, this is competition, and Arsenal fans shouldn't be complaining about this. Yeah, because we've always shouted we want competition. Well, now competition is here, and people are like, why should there be
There'll be some
competition? And
competition
this is my
tomorrow, I
problem.
tell you.
This is
Tomorrow
my
there's going to
problem
be
with Arsenal
competition.
fans. This is my problem with Arsenal fans. You all shouted for competition. Now you get the competition and you don't want it no more. This is the problem I
Exactly.
have with these fans.
Cowards.
Let's
Cowards.
accept this competition and let the best man win. See, let's get into the next topic. It's the striker topic, yeah? See, we have Eddie Nketiah. He's not good enough. We all know that, yeah? Does anyone disagree with that? Eddie Nketiah, not good enough. Does
I
everyone agree
agree
with this?
he's not good enough,
You
Yeah,
yeah.
I
agree with
agree
that?
with that.
Do you agree with that? Not good
It's
enough,
clear now,
right?
yeah.
Good. Now, there's a
Yeah.
story out there, yeah, that Ivan Tony might be coming down to Arsenal Football Club. See, who do you want? And mind you, Arsenal is also being linked to Ole Watkins. I heard as early as this morning
My
that
man Watkins, man.
Arsenal
I love
Football
Watkins.
Club, Edu Gaspar has opened negotiations with Ole Watkins' agent in London. But see, what's your take on this? Do you want to see Ole Watkins, or do you think Ivan Tony is the best guy to take us there? Anthony, you start, and always you will back up. Anthony, take us there.
You know what? I do like Ollie Watkins. Last season, 15 goals and 8 assists
Yeah.
for Aston Villa. Unai Emery, he changed him completely. He changed him for the better. Last season was his best footballing days in his career, so by a mile, right?
Mm,
He's but this season he's been lacking. I will say that Ollie Watkins. He's a good player, but he has been lacking. He hasn't been finding the
Mm,
goal. He's
mm.
only got one goal this season.
yeah.
Um, that to me is a little bit of a problem. It's a
Mm,
little bit of a worry. It's not a major issue because you've got to
yeah.
think we've got different players in our team to Aston Villa, right?
Mm,
The other one is Ivan Tony. He's a good player, but what people don't realise is he's out for half a season for this ban.
yeah.
Now he's missing half a season on football.
Mm.
Now, it- but rumor has it that
It's cooking, guys. It's cooking.
If
Mm,
Arsenal wants Ivan Toney, apparently
mm,
we got a bid in the region between anywhere between 70 to 80 million to get him. Right, this is what I've heard. So I'm thinking instead of Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney, between the money between 70 and 80 million, do you know who
mm.
I want in my team?
Who?
Mbappe?
No. He'd be a good signing. He'd be a good signing. But I
I
tell
tell
you
you, he
what,
knows where the goal is.
he knows, but he
He
definitely
knows where
knows
the
where the
goal is.
goal is. He
Exactly.
definitely knows where the goal is. But he can't. He does play. I want Alvarez for Man City. I think he'd be a good player.
Oh, brilliant player.
But
I
again,
think
but again,
he's capable of getting
He's
goals.
an
He's a
untouchable.
baller, man. He's a baller.
City,
Yeah,
but again, City can give you that guy. He's a World Cup winner. He's a multiple trophy winner with Manchester City. Just won,
Mm,
just
mm.
won the goddamn title, Champions League, FA Cup with City. He's won the World Cup.
exactly.
He's a big player and he's scoring goals. Last season, he scored 17 goals, and that's just someone fighting off Erling Haaland. Can you
Yeah,
imagine starting from the bench and he scored 17 goals all season? That's a great player. And I don't think Man City will want to let that guy go. It's not just possible.
Mm.
they will let him go. So if the money's right, I believe they'll let him go. They
Nah,
will let
nah,
him go.
nah, nah, nah.
I
Because
think they will.
he's the only backup to Erling Haaland. And trust me, see, I don't know if
Yeah.
you've also looked at the market or you've checked your local listings. Yeah, I don't think Manchester City want to sell any of their players. Any, like I mean, any of the players to Arsenal Football Club again in the next 10 years.
But we'll give them
Man
Eddie
City's got
Nketiah.
the
We'll give
money
them
to buy
Eddie Nketiah
anybody.
at 10 million.
City will never sell any players to
We'll give them
Arsenal
Eddie Nketiah
again in
10
the next
million
10
and
years.
a packet of sherbet.
Yeah,
It's as
definitely.
simple as that. But Anthony, old school Gunnar, coming into this one, yeah, who would you like to see as your number nine? Because see, I think Arteta is
Um,
being delusional when he says, we don't need a number nine. I think he needs a number nine.
yeah.
Everyone is telling him he needs a number nine, so he's just talking. By January, he has to bring a striker. There's a reason why that news is out there. We need a striker, and it's clear for all to see. So, who would you like to bring in by January that will galvanize everything, change our style of play, and help us? We do need a number nine. It's very clear.
Well, it's interesting because Anthony touched on the player that I have been talking about for a long time. We seem to be, I don't know, telepathically connected, but Ollie Watkins for me, regardless, I know he hasn't done too well last season. He's been kind of stuttering through. But the important thing for me with players like, for example, Rice, different position, I know, Zinchenko, Jesus, they come with Premier League experience. And I think it's
Mhm.
important because a lot of the deals that Arsenal do are kind of, I wouldn't say last minute, but they're kind of, they come in just before the start of the season sometimes. It's important to get players that have Premier League experience that immediately know the opposition. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a different level in the Premier League. If they come from the Bundesliga, with all due respect, if they come from League One, it's a different level. So it's
It's a
good that they
different
actually
level.
have that Premier League experience. And Ollie Watkins fits the bill. But that has to be said. When I saw how Ivan Toney played against us last season at the Emirates and how
Oof,
unlucky he
oof,
was, he
oof,
absolutely just tortured us. He was just
oof.
everywhere. He took
Peppered
my
us.
breath away. I was suddenly looking at the TV watching him, right? My mouth opened. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Is this guy? Yeah,
He's
exactly.
been
That's what
everywhere.
he does.
Like,
Yeah, that's what he does. He brings it.
Tony was like,
Yeah,
Ivan
Ivan
Toney.
Tony.
Oh, man. So, but I like Ollie Watkins, man. I think he's a bull. He's a big, strong lad, is what I mean by that. He's robust. He's physically strong. He's the kind of guy that won't
Oof.
give you a moment's rest. He's on the
Yeah,
Yeah.
defender's shoulder. He's breathing down
Mhm.
their necks. And he actually is physical. He's got that physicality. Reminds me a little bit of Didier Drogba back in the day. Terrifying
Mhm.
forward.
Terrifying
It's nice
forward.
if I was playing against Drogba. He's just an animal. A little bit like him. But Ollie Watkins is, for me, he's dynamic. He's quick. He's strong. In an Arsenal team, the way we play, it's all good, man. I tell you, I could see us scoring. He could score a lot
But
of goals with that Arsenal team.
but
I'm a
but,
big fan
but
of Ollie
again,
Watkins.
but again, see, being a big fan of Ola Watkins is good, yeah. But we
Mm.
have those kind of players at Arsenal. I want someone who gives us something different, yeah. Ola Watkins is
Yeah,
not better
it's right.
than Gabriel
It's much
Martinelli.
better than what we have.
He's not better than
Different
Saka
class.
to me.
Better than
Is he
who?
better than Saka? Is he better than Saka?
Yeah,
Is
but we're
Ole
playing.
Watkins
Well,
better than Saka?
we're gonna play him as a forward, though, right? As a number
I
nine.
don't know. I don't know with this manager. I
If
don't
he's
know. It might
playing
be
as a number
different.
nine as a forward, he's better than anything we have. Ollie
mm,
Watkins is better than any forward we have. Maybe not better than Havertz.
But again,
Just
yeah.
bringing a bit of a a bit of lightness, guys, a bit of humor to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But you know what? I just want to
I
make
get
one
that.
more point.
But
Yeah,
again,
I just want to say one more thing.
I'll prefer an Ivan Tony. I'll prefer Ivan
I
Tony.
want to say one
I
more
think
thing.
it's a
Though this is kind of
yeah.
like I'm thinking outside the box here. Yeah, pardon the pun. But you remember
Okay.
when Chelsea was it or was it United? They signed Lukaku like a year ago from Inter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who did he go to? Was it Chelsea or United? Chelsea, right? Yeah, Chelsea. Lukaku
yeah,
went
it
back to
was.
Chelsea, I think, from Inter. Yeah. The problem
Yeah.
with
From
that
Yeah,
was
Inter.
we were lining up a move for Lautaro Martinez. But the fact is that when Inter lost Lukaku, they were never going to sell Martinez. Martinez would have been, if we had managed to get the
Yeah.
Martinez deal done, a very
yeah.
good player. Martinez is a baller. And he's another World Cup winner, if I'm correct. Yeah, he also plays for Argentina. Brilliant player.
See,
Yeah,
I get that. I get that.
Brilliant
Yeah.
player.
But again, I'm
When they
very
signed
scared.
Lukaku, he was never
I'm
going to
very
leave.
scared.
They were never going to sell
I
him.
get I get that, but again, I'm very scared about all these players that are coming from abroad. Maybe if it's a Victor Osimhen, I'll say okay, good. But any of all these players coming from abroad, I'm really very
You don't
very
need to
scared
be
about
scared.
them because I know, but they'll need to
You don't need
adjust. Yeah,
to be scared because he's going to be playing for us.
I,
He's on
I
our
know I
side.
need to win the league. I know I need to win the league this
Cheer him
season.
on.
Yeah, I know I need
Martinez.
to win the league this season. So that's why I need that league title this season. It should be this season, not next
Can
season.
I ask
I
you
need it
about
this
something
season.
else as well, lads? Just kind of thinking outside the box
But
as well. What do you think
yeah,
about? Sorry
yeah,
for cutting across to you, but what do you think about
yeah.
the whole Anthony situation? And what do you think about Jadon Sancho at United? The fact that he's getting frozen out. It's crazy, right? The thing with Sancho and with
it
Ten
Mm,
is
Hag.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
mm,
I think a
mm,
part of that.
Like
I
he's
think
been
they're
made
trying
the
to say that Ten
scapegoat.
Hag's apologise as well, isn't he? He should
Mm,
mm.
apologise as well, Ten Hag, definitely.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's the way how he's gone there, and that. Um, I think with Anthony, I'll be honest with you now. I've been on a couple of Man United streams as well, and there's a number of Man United fans that don't rate him anymore, and that's
They
true.
don't rate who?
Anthony,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because of what happened,
yeah,
huh?
because of what's happened, yeah, and
Yeah, now
obviously
he's
he's
back with the
the
team and he's
performance,
training, but the case is ongoing. It's like,
yeah, that's right. But I think
Yeah,
he's affected
yeah.
his performance on the pitch as well.
yeah, yeah. He hasn't been the same player. He's a great player. I'm
Yeah,
talking
Yeah.
about now as a footballer. Yeah, he's a good footballer. I'm not saying he's an angel. Yeah, the guy's a good football player, but he
But
hasn't been. I
mind,
agree
but
with you, Anthony. He
yeah,
hasn't been
but
the
again,
same player
mind
since.
you, he has to come back. He has to come back. What about match fitness? You know, all these things you have to check. All these things. Where I'm thinking that Ten Hag is
How
making a
he'll get for
mistake.
match fitness. There's a lot of good training in prison. Like you do a lot of good physical exercises in the yard. They do a lot of good. Yeah, just don't drop the soap. That's what I'd say to Anthony. Don't drop the soap. That's what I'm going to say. Get like soap on a
Yeah,
rope, or be like Leslie Nielsen. Like Leslie Nielsen in
yeah,
Naked Gun. Have like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
pants on,
Exactly.
yeah, like
But
steel
again, yeah,
target
but
with a
again,
huge padlock.
yeah,
You can
that's
relax. Then
true.
you can relax.
But again, you have to understand that this is two wingers. This is two wingers, yeah, that Manchester
Yeah,
United is losing, yeah, in the same
yeah,
season. And again, Sancho was brought in for big money. These players are not
yeah.
just your average players. These are players that are brought in for big money, yeah.
And
And look
Anthony's
at
a
what's
great
happening
player.
around them.
Anthony's a great player.
So if I was Ten Hag, because right now Ten Hag is not in top four, um, he's been beaten this season, black and blue. He's not going to win the Champions League. They don't look good. I think they're going to struggle in Champions League to get out of that group. They're not
Yeah,
looking good even in cup competitions either. They just, of course, they won against Crystal Palace, but when the competition ups the ante, what's going to happen? We know they're going to crash out. They don't just have, they don't have that buzz in there. They brought in Amrabat, who I feel is a good player, in his own vein, but still, it's
Hannibal.
not
Don't
just
you have a guy
enough.
called Hannibal
It's
as well?
not. It's not just enough. You brought in that player. He's a midfielder, and again, in his first game, you put in him as a left back. It doesn't work
Tony,
in that way. He just
would
came
you
from
have
Italy.
Sancho? Would you have Sancho at Arsenal? And most probably, when I say this, obviously he plays in Saka's position, but would you have him like as a backup in and rotate him around with Saka, like Reina with Ramsdale? Would you most
It,
probably
his
introduce that?
attitude. See, Anthony, his attitude already rules him out from that Arsenal move. Mikel Arteta, what actually you don't know your coach. Your coach is not gonna take that guy in any alternative reality.
Mm,
That guy
maybe.
doesn't like people. He likes yes men. This is the truth. He likes someone. He would say, "Hey, go to
But is it
kill,"
true?
and they
That's
say,
the thing.
"Yes,
Is it
sir."
true what Ten Hag is saying about
It's
him?
true. And Sancho is not that guy. He would tell, "Hey, Sancho, go to kill," and Sancho would say, "Yes, sir." Sancho would say, "No, I'm not going to kill," and that's the problem. You have a problem with Mikel Arteta when you disobey orders. You will be put on the bench. You will be suffocated. You won't have game time. Look at Trossard. See numbers. Numbers and numbers of players have this problem with Mikel Arteta. He's not going to be that guy. And
But Ten
again,
Hag,
yeah, but Ten
yeah,
Hag should be doing that. Ten Hag
Ten
should be
Hag
because
comes across
see,
to me
he's
as being a
staring
bit. He's overkill. He's very strict. He's like, and he's
exactly.
not. He's not a father figure. He's a bit more. He
Mm.
puts. I don't
If it's
know.
if it's me
Ten
if
Hag
it's me,
just
I'll
puts
be
a bit.
putting my arm around
Uh,
Sancho and tell him come around. And again, see, yeah, Eric Ten Hag is
Ten
facing
Hag
the
is a bit
barrel.
much, if you ask me, anyway.
He's facing the barrel. He's facing not qualifying for
Mm.
Champions League next season, not getting top four, not winning a domestic trophy. He's out of the Premiership already. See, man, it's not looking good. So you need every player right now instead of scapegoating
But
Sancho.
one
Just bring him
one
into
good
the
thing
table.
about
Let him
Jadon
play.
Sancho is right. One good thing about Jadon Sancho is sorry to cut across the man. One good thing about Jadon
Mm.
Sancho, if we signed him, can you imagine when we go to Old Trafford, the hate he's going to have for them and for Ten Hag. We'd win 10-0. He'd probably score 5 goals. You know what I mean? We'd be laughing. The game be over at half time. Sancho would go up to Old Trafford boy with a point to prove. We'd win 6-0,
Mm.
I'd say. Arsenal 6, United 0. 2 hat tricks from Sancho. You know what I mean?
Well, the team is a shitty team anyway
I
these
mean,
days,
serious,
so
man.
who
He'd go
cares?
up there with a point to prove.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, I don't want to see Sancho. I don't want when other players are having their trainings at Kone, yeah, and then we have a
Yeah.
certain player who we play PS7 to 7 a.m. in the morning. It's not the kind of attitude I want in my team anyway. But see, talking
Mm.
about the striker issue, see, who who should we bring into the table? January. Who should we have as our number nine? Eddie Nketiah's not looking good. Trossard might tender a transfer request by January. I see that coming because he'll feel it's too good for what's going on with the situation at Arsenal. We're not giving him game time and he's scoring goals.
It
What
has
does he
to be
have to do to
Watkins. It
to
has to be
stop?
Watkins, or it has to be Ivan Tony. There's not many options out there. I don't think. I don't know. Like you think that Mikel Arteta, like Spanish, he's from Catalan, yeah, he's from Catalonia. He's got those
Mm,
links, or maybe Edu with the links in Brazil. Do they know any
mm,
players that are currently up and coming? Do they have any contacts in Spain? Any contacts in
mm,
Brazil? I mean, if we have to look out of the Premier League, which is not a good thing, like I said, because I like the player to have that Premier League experience with Watkins. Watkins would
mm,
bring that. Tony would bring that. But
mm.
do they know any? Like, remember Arsene Wenger? I know it's bad. It's not fair to compare them with Wenger. But remember all the players he brought over from AS Monaco? Remember all the
Yeah.
French players he brought in?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And
mm.
even the guys that were only playing part-time roles, like Gilles Gramondi, Remy Gard, they could do a job for you. Christopher
But,
Ray.
do- but
You know what I
does
mean?
Mikel Arteta
They
have
did a
that
job
pull
for
to
us.
bring
They
in
did a
the big
job for
time
us, man.
player?
What's that?
See, Anthony. See, yeah. Does Mikel Arteta have the big pull to bring in the big players into the football club, like a Kylian Mbappe? If we need a Kylian Mbappe right now, if we have the money, do you think Mikel Arteta has that pull to bring him in?
No. No. No.
Mm, that's it.
No.
That's it.
Chelsea do.
No.
See,
Not,
we have
not,
a
not
game.
Chelsea do.
But you
You
look at
know,
PSG with Neymar. When Neymar went to PSG, who signed him? Emery.
Unai
mm,
Emery. That's true.
There you
That's
go.
true.
Emery's
That,
got the pulling power because the truth is he has won. He's the king of winning Europa League. He is. He's
mm,
won about
yeah,
8
he is.
Europa Leagues. So
he has that
people,
experience.
yeah, he's got that experience. He knows how to move players well,
Yeah.
and the team play well. Arsenal's biggest regret was letting that guy go.
Mm,
Emery. That was Arsenal's.
Unai Emery.
I mean, we sacked him when we were eighth. Arteta then took over. We finished eighth, and then we finished eighth the following season after. So, you know what I mean? It was a no-win situation. So, what was the point in sacking Unai Emery in the first place?
Well,
And I
see,
tell you
man.
something, now, we would have won
But
that
but
Premier
but
League
again, some of our
last season
defenders
if
that we
Unai
had at
Emery
the
was in
time are
charge.
shocking defenders, man. Shocking defenders. You
Emery
can't
is a
rely
good
on that.
coach. He's a good coach. He's better
Yeah.
than
He's a
Arteta.
good coach. I do reckon. See,
He's
guys,
better than
guys,
Arteta.
we'll have a matchup tomorrow. OSG, take us through that matchup tomorrow because I have to call it a day so that you
Ah,
guys
no
can go
problem.
home.
No problem.
The Bournemouth game. Arsenal going to Bournemouth tomorrow. What do you reckon is going to happen? It's a big, big match for us. Yeah,
I
the
think
opposition might not be a big opposition, but it's a big, big match. We have to bounce back from that acrimonious
I
showing
think we'll
against
win. I think we're
Tottenham.
going to beat them. But I think we can't start slowly against them. I think they're the kind of team that they sense blood. If they get one and they have the crowd behind them, I think it could get difficult. Like if they get in front, if they get one up, God forbid two up with the crowd behind them, I think it could be a difficult afternoon for us because I don't think we're that confident right now. We have our injuries, our tennis management sometimes. We tend to start slowly in games. I just think in the first
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes, we need to play as the away team and then grow into the game. Like, let's not be bombing forward from the moment. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, settle into the game, and then let's just tear into them. But we have to kind of
Mm.
size them up at the beginning because, like I said, if they take the lead, if we make a mistake in the first 5 minutes, if Jorginho does what Jorginho likes to do sometimes, if he does what he does best, we could be in trouble. That's all I'm saying. We could find ourselves with a mountain to climb. On paper, football's not played on paper, guys. I know that's been said a lot, but we have the necessary players to put the game to bed.
Yeah.
We should easily win that game.
Yeah.
But we need to go out and we need to approach it like the away team. The first 10, 15 minutes, let's keep it tight. Let's see what's on. If we can hit them on the break and score one, all well and good. Obviously, let's do the high press. But let's be careful. Let's be careful. Let's start the game controlled, measured, and let's play our football. Don't take any unnecessary risks and try to keep the ball away from Jorginho if he's like facing the back four. You know what I mean? Or whatever he's doing in
You
there.
just had to get
Whatever
that in
Jorginho's
there,
doing in
right?
there, let's just kind of give him some pizza and let him take five. Let's send him out for a ciggy break and then let's bring him back in. Just try to keep the ball away
Ladies
from
and
Jorginho
gentlemen,
in areas like if you see Jorginho
OSG in
there,
the house, man.
turn away
Mm.
from him, turn away from Jorginho and just kick the ball up the field.
Exactly. See, yeah,
Can't
ladies and
trust him, guys.
gentlemen,
Can't trust him.
OSG is in the house, man. Big ups to you,
Can't
man.
trust
See,
Jorginho, guys.
yeah, definitely. Anthony, what do you have to say? We go to Bournemouth. Do you agree with what our big brother down here, OSG, has just said? See, do you think we should be looking at this game from a point of let's go to Bournemouth and crush this guys? We should be crushing this guys. Should we
Crush
have that
them.
mentality of going down there and crushing?
Training session.
You
Training
know,
session.
exactly. Should we have that mindset? Or should we have that mindset that, okay, it's Bournemouth's an away game. Let's just watch. Let's slowly watch and be very careful in the way we play these guys. Should we be having that mentality when going to a place like Bournemouth? Or should we go in there with a, with a terrifying, uh, with a
Yeah.
terrifying attitude?
Racism.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Tune? I think look, a good game against Bournemouth. I think Arsenal should get the game sealed and delivered by 60 to 65 minutes. No questions. That's how we've got to do. We've got to try and win the game within 65 minutes.
Mm.
And then
Mm,
I'm not being funny. It's like I said, if Havertz is playing, we got no chance. Like this is Anthony's plan B. Right, pick the team. Don't play Havertz. Put him in the bin. Push him down. Squash him down, and leave him in the bin. And then
Dream
leave the players
scenario.
playing. And I tell you what now. I tell you what now. If we are winning this game,
mm.
I predicted 2-0. But if we're winning 2 or 3-0 by 65th minute, then maybe introduce an Havertz. Till then, you don't get in that team. And
Yeah.
that's simple. We've got to kill the game off within 65 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Because OSG, we've not delved into this, yeah, in depthly. Please, I'll just take just a little bit of your time. Kai Havertz, yeah. I'm sorry. Let's talk about this. Kai Havertz, what's the best position to put this guy? We still have this guy at least until January. Personally, I believe we should ship him out by January.
In the
I
bin.
don't want to see this guy in the football club, but of course, Mikel Arteta, he doesn't want anyone to say, "Oh, you made that 65 million pounder mistake." Yeah, so he wants to play this guy. He's ready to see this guy, Mikel Arteta. He's ready to shape shift our team. Yeah, throw away the best. one of the best, at least top two CDMs that we have in this league, Thomas Partey, is willing to turn this guy into a right back to accommodate Kai
Yeah.
Havertz. That's how bad this is. See, where should we put this guy? It's a big problem. But you know what? Yeah, I'm a solutions kind of guy. Instead of talking about the problem, I want solutions to that problem. So, see, what is the solution? How can we use Kai Havertz to help us at least until January that we can go there and get someone that will help us?
Play him in the midfield as a defensive midfielder, maybe. I don't know. He's
No, no,
not good at
no,
scoring goals. Yeah? He's not good at scoring
no,
goals. He's a
no,
big
no,
man.
no. Lock him in the room in the Premier Inn and say you ain't getting out of there. Go on, do that.
Lock
Go
him in
and
the
score.
Premier
Do
Inn,
that.
I'd love to lock him in there and get him with a baseball bat then when he's asleep.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I'm not going to say any more unless my lawyer is present. No, but I think
So
like
OSG,
what
OSG.
Anthony,
So we
what
don't
kind
have
of
any
bin?
place to put this
Anthony,
guy.
what kind of bin are you talking about? Is it like one of the pedal bins? Is it a wheelie bin? I mean, and can we bring it to the truck so they collect the bin and it flips straight into the back of
Throw
the
him in, yeah,
rest
and
of the
take
truck
him
there?
away personally as far as possible away from
I was at
the
the
Emirates.
Emirates yesterday. They got some big bins out there. There's some really big bins, like in America,
Oh,
the
what?
really big ones.
But
They'll actually throw
that'd
it
do.
out.
Chuck him in one of those and just let him go.
But I wonder, does he
But yeah,
actually need
uh,
like testosterone injections? Because you
oh
actually
my
see when he
gosh.
hits the ball, yeah, he needs to start taking steroids or something. No, I'm not saying players that do drugs, yeah, guys. But look, I'm going to stop because Tony's going to get banned off YouTube. But look,
Exactly.
when he
See,
hits
yeah,
the
yeah,
ball, there's a complete lack of power. Do you see that, guys? When he strikes the ball at goal,
complete
when he
lack of
takes on
power.
a shot,
Yeah.
there's a complete
Yeah.
lack of strength. What is
Mm.
that about? I mean, a man of his size kicking a
And
football for a living.
he can't even move the ball. He can't
He's not
progress the
going to hit
ball.
it with any
But mind you,
power.
his
No power.
confidence is that bad.
Yeah.
Immediately he gets the ball, he wants to pass the ball quickly. They don't even trust him. So
But
even
even when he
he
shoots,
himself
like
is very low. He's on an
connecting with
all-time
it.
low. On an
Sorry.
all-time low in confidence. This guy
Yeah.
couldn't get a goal in 3 yards. In three
So
yards, he fluffed
when
his
he
line
when
against
he played
Manchester
for
United. And
when he
BX
played for
Guna,
Score in
and
Amsterdam,
BX
that's what I
Guna,
heard.
when you say playing up top in
I heard he
Odegaard's
couldn't
right
score in
side, it's
Amsterdam.
not
You know what I
possible.
mean?
He can't even do that. He can't do that,
He went over
BX
to
Guna.
Amsterdam and he
He
couldn't
can't.
score. That's what I heard.
do you
Yeah,
remember when he
Anthony.
played for Brian Leverkusen over Germany? He was the poacher. All these goals, he was
Yeah,
good over Germany, but he was the poacher around the 6 yard box,
yeah,
and he had
Box.
never had a powerful shot. It was always the tap-ins. Mind you,
yeah,
a bit like Gary Lineker years ago for when he played for England
yeah,
and
true.
and Leicester and that. And that was the position that he played in when he was playing in Germany. But coming over to here, to the Premier League, the fastest league in the world, is not for him.
It's
It
not for
never
him.
will be for him. It
Maybe in
won't be.
Germany, maybe in Bayer Leverkusen, it's something. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe somewhere else in Germany. I think he might be doing something very good. But
He's not
down
good
here,
enough.
he's not
No.
good enough. He's not good enough. It wasn't good enough for Chelsea. And again, yeah, what's with all these Chelsea players? Enough getting all these Chelsea
Oh,
rejects and Chelsea throw ups. Yeah, we're Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, Arsenal Football Club. We don't need all these throw ups from Chelsea Football Club. We don't need
He cost
handouts
us
from
65
Chelsea
million
Football
too,
Club.
lads. He cost us
65 million
65
pounds.
million.
65 million pounds. It's atrocious. Completely disgraceful. This guy can score zero assists, everything zero.
007?
It's horrible.
007?
Okay, man. See, we've come to the end of the show. I've kept this guys for far too long. Yeah, far too long.
It's been a
See,
pleasure.
OSG, old school gunner. Yeah, shout out your channel, man. Talk to these people. Tell them
Guys,
what
check
you
out
want
my
to see on
channel,
your
yeah.
channel.
I do watch alongs. Obviously, I collaborate with people. Soon I will do a collaboration with Anthony. We're going to make that happen, my friend.
yeah.
I do watch alongs. I do reviews, previews. I do a fan cam, just like Tony's doing now. I bring other people onto my channel. People are welcome at any time. And I just want to say one more thing. Come out and support my channel, of course. But the most important thing for me is I am an Arsenal fan. It's not that I don't care about my channel, but the most important thing for me is meeting different fans. Whether it's an Arsenal fan or it's a Liverpool fan, to be honest, I like connecting with other fans of
Yeah.
football. And that's the most important thing for me. with my
Yeah.
channel. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for fame. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. I'm
Yeah.
an Arsenal supporter since I was 13 years of age. That's 30 years ago, guys. I'm in my 40s now. That's the main
Yeah.
thing about my channel. I just want to connect with other fans. I want to get to know other people. And yeah, I just want to be honest, any fan from any club is welcome on my channel. Arsenal fans
Yes.
also, of course, mainly. But if they have a different, I just want all the fans out to know, if you have a different opinion to me, your opinion will be respected on my channel. There'll never be any
Yeah.
BS or any stuff like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everyone's opinions will be respected on my channel, regardless if you are Arteta in, you're Arteta out, you're one of these guys, you're a new Arsenal fan, you're a Liverpool, even Spurs. All right, guys? So come check out my channel. Big up the two lads, yeah. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, it's been great to be on your channel, man. And it's been a pleasure meeting Anthony. Pleasure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And OSGC, you would always have time here that you would come in here and talk football. We'll do this again and again, and I'll also be at your channel too, and come down there and talk football with you. So this is just a fresh movement.
Trust the money.
In our collaboration out of many that will be coming up quite soon. Because I like how you talk football. I literally go to your shows and just watch you. Even if you might be doing something else, I would just be there and just watch you. I've watched you actually when you're at work, and you're just talking Arsenal. I just like the way you talk
At my
about
best, at
Arsenal,
my
and
best.
yeah, but I
I'm at
just really
work.
like it. Yeah, and again, I see, and of course, Anthony. Oh my God, what can I do without you, my brother, man? Big ups
I
to you.
know.
Thanks for making this show, a big one.
Yeah.
Shout out your place where the people could find you, and of course, maybe a little or two about OSG that you've just had a show with today.
Yeah, you know what? It's been great being on this show. Meeting Old School Gunner for the first time, being on a stream with him. I hope to be on a stream with you even more. I really enjoyed tonight's stream. Um, is we sort of agree with each other, sort of thing. Me too. I'm in my 40s. I've been an Arsenal fan since what 1985. So that's don't let the grey fool you. But then again, it's been interesting. um, I just want to say on my show, I do a show Thursday nights, Gunners from All Corners. Uh, Tony Claude is a regular, and I got to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Tony Claude, there won't really be a Gunners from All Corners. I always say that. He's always been there, from day one since I first presented my Gunners of All Corners.
Yes.
And in all fairness, I was bricking it. I was really, was basically shitting myself doing my first stream. Tony eased it into it, and then the stream, it was just comfortable from start to
Yeah.
finish
Mm,
with Tony.
mm.
So all I'm going to say is you've got three people here that support the same team. We do all
Mm.
Arsenal content all on our shows as well. Please subscribe to our shows. That's Football
Yeah.
United TV, Old School Gooner, and
Old
Tony
school
Talk
gooner.
TV. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just plug in, watch, and enjoy. That's all we do.
Yeah.
And we don't do it for money. We do it for the love and the
Yeah.
content, and not just for Arsenal fans, for any other fans as well throughout the YouTube community. So
Yeah.
big up to you
Yeah.
all, and thanks for watching, and thanks for the
Yeah.
comments.
Guys, see, of course, you've heard from the horse's mouth. Yeah, go subscribe to Anthony's channel. Probably, I would, Anthony. You have to put it in the, in the comment section. Yeah, maybe when the show is ended, you can put it in the comment section
Yeah,
where
Football
Yeah,
people
United
we'll do.
TV,
find
right?
you. Old
Subscribe
school
to that,
gunner,
yeah.
please
Football
comment
United
on it
TV.
with your channel link. Also, please do that.
I will.
And see, guys, go subscribe to Old School Gunner. Yeah, go do it. Yeah. The guys are going to be watching the show later on. Because I have other people, I have fans who watch the shows later on. So please go subscribe to OSG, subscribe to Football United, where that's housing Gunners from all corners. And I'll be bringing this band back together again. And let's see if we could. Today was real talk. It was a little bit heated in a way. I like it that way a bit. When
Sometimes
old school Gunner wants to get his point across,
I have
he's
a
like,
picture right here I
I
want to
need
show
to
you
get
guys.
this across.
I just want to
So,
show you a picture. 1 second, I want to
yeah,
put up a picture.
yeah, man.
I don't know. Can you see that properly there? Let me try to angle it.
Can
Right, it's bright. Let's pull back.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
we
It's too bright. It's too bright. What is that? But it's you and
go.
someone.
There we go.
Oh, it's you and Edu Gaspar. Oh my God.
Ah,
Yeah,
damn it.
Is
It
that
doesn't
Edu
matter anyway.
Gaspar?
Me and Edu, guys. Me and Edu.
All
That
right,
was
man.
back today, yeah.
you
He's
could
an
have
I
had
hope
another
you told.
invincible.
chorus
I hope you
in the
told him to get.
background.
I hope you told him to go
There,
get us Ivan Tony.
there.
Yeah,
I hope you told him to go get us Ivan Tony.
He's an invincible. I met him in the centre of London. I was going into the county hall by the London Eye, and I heard a
yeah,
guy speaking Portuguese, and I looked. I said, it can't be. Now, he was with a
Oh
minder.
my God.
He had muscle with him,
Okay.
and he had his wife
Okay.
and a friend, but he had muscle,
Wow.
guys. A guy's like one of the villains out of the Jane Bond movies. He had no neck; it was just shoulders and his head. So he was just. So I waited outside for him. I waited outside the county
Yeah.
hall like a pure stalker. He came out,
Mm,
and I said, you know what?
mm.
Fuck it. I'm going to go for it. So I manned up. I went over. I said, are you Edu Gaspar? No, I was shaking. He's an invincible, guys. You know what I mean? Hero of mine.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
are you Edu?
Yeah.
Never mind technical director. He's an invincible. I said, are you Edu
Mm,
Gaspar? He said, I am. But he was a bit like apprehensive because a lot of fans were hating on him
mm.
at that time. So I walked
Yeah.
over and I goes, yeah. I said, photo, man. And he was like, very happy and friendly. And his wife, I can't go into it too much because, you know what I mean? I get you banned. But she is an absolute cracker. All right, here we go.
I've seen
His
pictures of her.
wife
I have seen
is
pictures of her.
his wife is oh man. I was like, all right, Edu, no photo with her.
Did someone asked
His
the
wife
question?
is
Did you sleep?
oh
Did you
man.
sleep
That's all I
Edu
can
a
say.
brown envelope? That's what Scott Kirk said to you. Shout out to Scott Kirk. That's a big guy, yeah.
You know what the thing is
Scott Kirk.
about
He
him as
said,
well?
"Did you
Edu
sleep
last week,
Edu a brown envelope?"
Edu is a giant. He's
He's a
massive.
giant.
I was like that. Don't hurt me. That's why I didn't stop
Dave,
on
don't
it. I
Dave,
mean,
Dave, don't steal his lady, man. He'll get angry because I still need him to
he's
go get
my head
Ivan
in.
Tony
He's
for us,
a
man.
giant of a guy. He's still got it,
See,
man.
yeah,
He's still in shape.
guys, big ups to you guys, yeah. Catch me and Wolfang Division tomorrow, guys, in the watch along Bournemouth against Arsenal and TJ Warren, yeah. So that's gonna be a big one. We need those points
Yeah.
against Bournemouth,
I'll be
maximum
watching.
points
I'll be
tomorrow.
watching.
Yeah, definitely. Tottenham Hotspurs, will be, are playing against Liverpool. Liverpool is coming to London, so I want that game to be a draw so that Arsenal could
Oh
be able
yeah.
to, just
Yeah,
extend
1-0.
higher into this
Come
league
on,
because
Spurs.
yeah, man. So big up to everyone, yeah. And we catch you guys from me, OSG, and from Anthony. We're out. We're out.
Peace.
Peace.